Hey, you know what? I feel like y'all are not putting enough respect on the name of the DJI Mini 3. So, we're gonna talk about it. What's up, y'all? Tight Shirt Terry Warfield back for another video. Hey, I hope you're having a great day so far. Remember to be thankful for your life today because you did not have to have that. On with the meat and potatoes. The DJI Mini 3 is here in all of its glory. I've actually had this thing for a few weeks before release, so big shout out to DJI for now being a supporter of the Terry Warfield channel. So stoked about that. But because my video did not get posted on time, my bad, I was in Japan, I've had an opportunity to go through to read a lot of y'all YouTube comments and the forum comments and all that stuff, and I'm seeing so much, in my opinion, unnecessary hate when it comes to the Mini 3. I feel like first we need to position the Mini 3 because I feel like that's where a lot of the hate is coming from, and I'll circle back to that in 1 second. And by the way, I don't script videos, so if I mess up, I just mess up, okay? But let's talk positioning. So you could get the DJI Mini 2, which is still a fantastic drone, by the way, with the RCN1 controller for $449. Now, mind you, the Mini 2 is starting to show its age, although it's still a great drone. Now, I also have the Mini 3 Pro, which is one of my favorite drones. I got it right here on the table. By the way, my review for this drone is right up there in the corner, but this thing is $669 for the drone by itself. Yes, you can buy the drone just by itself, and the Mini 3 by itself, because you can also just buy the drone by itself with the Mini 3, is $469 without a controller. So we're talking a $200 difference between the Mini 3 and the Mini 3 Pro, and then only like a $20 difference between the Mini 2 and the Mini 3, although I do feel like the Mini 3 is a much better drone than the Mini 2. So the reason I'm bringing all of this up is because the Mini 3 Pro has a very specific word in it that I feel like a lot of y'all are seeming to forget about. You know what that word is? Pro. Does the Mini 2 or the Mini 3 have the word Pro in it? That answer is no. They do not have the word Pro in it because the Mini 3 is meant to be a beginner drone, you drone snobs. A beginner drone. It is not for professionals. Now, does that imply that it can't be used in a professional scenario? No, but it's not meant for that. It's meant for people who want a little more sauce to what the Mini 2 has to offer, but don't want to go all the way up to the Mini 3 Pro, but they still want some of the benefits of the Mini 3 Pro in the Mini 3 at a cheaper price point. That is what the Mini 3 is designed for beginners and people who maybe just want a secondary drone or just something smaller that they can take with them. And this thing is hyper powerful for $469. Now, while we're on the subject, this comes in a few different flavors. So you could buy the drone by itself, like I said, for $469, but you can also buy the Mini 3 with the DJI RCN1 controller, which is just a standard controller. And you can also buy it with this freaking thing right here, which I absolutely love, the DJI RC controller. Now, you can also buy the battery separate, so you can still buy the standard batteries, but you can also buy the plus batteries because the plus batteries work in the Mini 3 also. They pretty much share, not the same body, but almost the same body. Now, if that's not good enough for you, you can pick one of those options, but you can also add on a Fly More combo, which obviously gives you the bag, gives you more batteries, or you could go Fly More combo plus, which is the Fly More combo just with the plus batteries. Now, keep in mind, y'all, that if you use the plus batteries, that it does put the drone over 249 grams, which does take away some of those things we love about having a tiny drone. So now that we have the positioning out the way, I wish you snobs would stop making it seem like this and this are the same thing, because they're not. They're meant for two different crowds of people. One is pro, one is not. All right, so fully expect that I will be doing a full comparison of the Mini 3 versus the Mini 3 Pro, because I know a lot of y'all are going to want that comparison, but I want to talk specifically about the Mini 3 and what makes this thing amazing, especially for the price. First of all, it's 249 grams. The build, as I said before, is very, very similar to the Mini 3 Pro. Obviously, there are some differences. The Mini 3 does not have obstacle avoidance, so in its place are vents. Also, I find that the Mini 3 doesn't overheat where the Mini 3 Pro does, and that's probably because it's got less processing to do, right? The next major thing that is the major appeal of the Mini 3 over something like the Mini 2 is image quality. Yo, image quality in videos and photo is stellar because it's the same sensor as the Mini 3 Pro. And we know that the sensor out of the Mini 3 Pro is literally wild. It's the same aperture, so it's still an f1.7. And that means that you could get better low light performance out of this 469 drone than something like the Air 2S or the Mavic 3. This thing does better in low light because of the faster aperture, which means at the end of the day, cleaner video, cleaner images out of the Mini 3 under the same set of circumstances than one of the bigger drones. Now, the other thing is this still does 4K 24, 4K 30, 2.7 60, 12 megapixel photo. They all look just like the Mini 3 Pro. They look fantastic. So that's a major thing for 469 bucks. Being able to get, in my opinion, professional quality, although it's not a pro drone, professional quality footage out of a drone this size is wild for this money. Now, also, the gimbal is the full gimbal. It's not the 2-axis gimbal from like the Mini 2. It's the full gimbal from the Mini 3 Pro, and it does vertical shooting also, and it goes all the way up and all the way down. So that lends for some really, really creative shots, and also it allows you to go into sport mode and still keep a level horizon because the gimbal can tilt so far up, even when the drone is pointing downwards, when the drone is ripping through the air flying at 1,000 miles an hour. Lastly, you still get pro controls. So even though it's not a pro drone, when you go into the app, you still get access to your ISO and white balance and shutter speed and all of that good stuff. So all of those controls are still there, although this is technically a drone for beginners. Now, the battery life out of the Mini 3 Pro is literally probably the best battery I've gotten out of any drone, but no joke, on a standard battery you could get about 36 to 37 minutes in the air, and if you go with the plus battery you could get like 47 to 48 minutes. No joke, like it's no exaggeration. The battery life out of the Mini 3 is literally wild. Now also remember, if you get the Fly More combo, that you do get this handy dandy charging bay where you can charge 3 batteries at one time, and you can also plug in a USB device if you run out of juice, so you can steal the juice from your Mini 3 batteries and charge something else with it, which is clutch. Now, although the Mini 3 doesn't have obstacle avoidance, you still get stuff like quick shots and things like that. You just got to be careful because when you get to them orbiting shots and stuff like that, it ain't got no obstacle avoidance and you can crash into stuff real easy. But I honestly don't even use obstacle avoidance. I know beginners probably might, so you know, you gotta definitely consider that if you're thinking about copping this drone. There is no obstacle avoidance. It is a really, really easy drone to fly. Probably the quietest drone I ever flown. And the last thing I want to touch on before we kind of wrap this video up is the O2 transmission system, because I've been seeing some flack for a beginner, and we need to say that again, for a beginner. This is a beginner drone. When is O2 not good enough? I fly this thing just like I fly my other drones. I have not had any transmission issues or anything like that. Let's keep it real, okay? As a beginner, you should be, and not even for beginners, everybody, if you are not flying with a 107 and got a spotter and all that stuff, you should be keeping your drone within visual line of sight. So if you are within visual line of sight, unless you're in like a super electrical urban environment with metal everywhere, you shouldn't have any signal issues with the O2 transmission system on here. It is only a 720 feed going to the controller, but it's still recording in full resolution, and you'll still get the crispiness when you bring the footage into post. And again, it's not a huge difference even for me coming from other drones. So now that that's out the way, I need to circle this all back around, okay, to value proposition for beginners. This is the best drone that you can get, in my opinion, for beginners. It is at a great price of 469 bucks. It's lightweight, it's small, it gives you vertical shooting, you still got quick shots, it's amazing battery life, it's great in low light. The image quality in photo and videos is literally amazing, all for 469 bucks. So if you're thinking about copping a drone for your beginner drone or your first drone, I would recommend this over something like the Mini 2, just because it's such an advancement in so many different ways. And if you already got drones, you're just thinking about picking up an extra, you already got a smart controller or anything like that, this is a great addition to the drone family for people who don't want to go spend an extra $200 for the Mini 3 Pro. Now, if you need something like obstacle avoidance or having 10-bit and D-Log and all that stuff is like, if that's important to you and you need it, then obviously grab the Mini 3 Pro. But the question is, how many beginners care about D-Log? How many beginners care about 10-bit and decent alike and hyperlapse and all that stuff? The reality is the beginners and people who just want a pocketable drone to shoot up in the air, get their shots, bring it back down and shoot it to Instagram with no color grading and all that stuff. You can't beat this thing for $469. So stay tuned. The next video will be comparing the Mini 3 to the Mini 3 Pro. Until next time, I'm so glad I was able to hang out with y'all today, and I'm out of here. Peace and chicken grease, tight shirt, Terry Warfield. I'm out. Peace.